Hey BBN, he will arrive. Andrea Gelavic hopes to be in Lexington in 2 weeks or less. What expectations for this guy in Kentucky now? Let's look at these issues, but subscribe to the channel. The Croatian player, who recently confirmed his expectation of landing in Lexington in 2 weeks or less, brings an impressive baggage and an above-average experience to an aged player. For Kentucky's passionate fans, the news has the weight of a final piece being fitted to this team, with the promise of further elevating the competitive level of a team already full of talent. The expectations around Gelavic are high, and it is not difficult to understand why. At the age of 19, he has accumulated tickets for professional alloys in Europe, where he has faced adult opponents in high-caliber competitions. His last season at Mega Superbet, where he recorded solid averages of 10.7 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game, demonstrates not only his versatility, but also his ability to impact the game in multiple aspects. In addition, its 48.5% utilization in the court throws reveals an efficient and confident player in decisive situations. These numbers, coupled with their experience against older and physically developed players, suggest that Gelavic reaches Kentucky ready to contribute significantly from the beginning. For Mark Pope, a technician who is printing his brand on the program after taking command, Gelavic's addition represents a unique opportunity to shape a young but extremely talented cast. In his recent statements, Pope highlighted the maturity of the Croatian player, referring to him as a veteran within his age group. This view is shared by the fans, who sees in Gelavic not only a technical reinforcement, but also a leader capable of inspiring his teammates. It is expected to quickly adapt to the American University game style, which combines speed, physical intensity, and a special focus on defense characteristics that should resonate well with their European formation. Gelavic's arrival timing is also strategic. With the end of summer training and the beginning of classes scheduled for August 25th, he will have enough time to adjust to the new academic and sports routine before the official start of the preseason. Although it has been unable to participate in training with the team this summer due to bureaucratic issues related to their transition to the United States, careful planning of its integration suggests that he will be able to follow the pace of colleagues as soon as he sets the Lexington floor. This initial period will be crucial for it to strengthen ties with the group and gain familiarity with the tactical systems implemented by Pope. More optimistic fans see in it the potential to be one of the team's highlights, someone capable of leading the attack and offering defensive consistency. Others, more cautious, remember that adaptation to university basketball may require some time, especially for an international player who will need to get used to the peculiarities of the American game style. However, regardless of individual projections, there is a general consensus that Gelavic will be a big face of Cats. In addition to their technical skills, what most intrigues fans is Gelavic's personal narrative. He is described as someone who dreamed of for years with the opportunity to play in the United States, and this motivation seems reflected in his dedication and commitment. During the time he remained in Croatia, away from Lexington's spotlight, he chose to continue training hard rather than simply observing his colleagues at a distance. This decision demonstrates not only discipline, but also a mentality of continuous growth, attributes that will certainly be valued in the highly competitive environment of Kentucky basketball. It is a strategic bet that combines talent, experience, and ambition, elements essential for any team that aims to play important titles. For BBN fans, the prospect of seeing Gelavic wearing the blue and white uniform for the first time is a source of great joy. Let's see how it is going. The big news that shakes conversations in the state of Bluegrass is the unusual scheduling of the Classic against Louisville, scheduled for November 11th, a confrontation that, for the third time in history, after 1983 in 1993, will be played at the beginning of the regular season, far from the traditional Christmas gift that fans are used to receiving in December. This change, although initially received with some resistance, promises to bring vibrant energy to university basketball, as pointed out by Louisville coach Pat Kelsey, and reinforces Pope's optimistic view for a bright future for both Wildcats and state rivalry. Mark Pope, with his characteristic good mood, played the responsibility of early scheduling for rivals, playing in May that we should blame Louisville for this date that turns the Classic into a Thanksgiving appetizer instead of the usual holiday show. The programming gets more and more complicated, he said, with a light tone, but recognizing that decisions like this are in the hands of most important people than him. The reality is that the university basketball calendar is a complex puzzle, and the November 11 confrontation was the result of a difficult fit, as Pat Kelsey explained in an interview with College Basketball Now's John Rothstein. It's like trying to put a square pin in a round hole, Kelsey said, highlighting the difficulty of aligning dates with so many teams and commitments. Although some fans on both sides wrinkle their nose for change, Kelsey estimated that 99.9% of fans would prefer the game later. There's a brightness of optimism in the way the two technicians see this peculiarity. For Kelsey, early confrontation has the potential to inject an adrenaline dose into university basketball early in the season, when football still dominates attention. It's a great game, he said, noting that the match will be circulated on the calendar of any sports fan, promising to capture the imagination of fans across the country. This view is a testimony of the relevance of Kentucky-Louisville rivalry, which transcends the state and establishes itself as one of the most electrifying duels of university sport. For Kentucky, led by Mark Pope, the date of November 11th is more than an out-of-season game. It is an opportunity to say early on the strength of a program that seeks to resume its place at the top of university basketball. Last season, the Wildcats have already shown their competitiveness by defeating Louisville by 93-85 at Rupp Arena on December 14th in the first battle between Pope and Kelsey. This confrontation marked the beginning of a new era for rivalry, and Pope believes the future reserves even more intensity. This Kentucky-Louisville thing will get hotter and warmer, he told the KSR Portal in May, with a confidence that reflects his ambition to raise Wildcats to national elite status. He foresees confrontations between teams classified among the best in the country, such as number 1 against number 4, rekindling the flame of a rivalry that, according to him, will be a high-level spectacle again. Pope spares no praise for colleague Pat Kelsey, recognizing the incredible work that Louisville coach did in his first season, especially when leading a team that featured players like Noah Waterman and Ali Khalifa, now under Pope in Kentucky. This connection between the programs, with athletes who have already played with Kelsey, adds an extra layer of intrigue to the confrontation. I have a lot of respect for him, Pope said, making it clear that while he expects Kentucky's blue to exceed Louisville's red in all meetings, rivalry will be marked by a fierce and balanced competition. Iron sharpens iron, he said, suggesting that both programs will rise mutually, with Kentucky, of course, seeking to be a little sharper. The change to November, although not ideal for some, also reflects the adaptability of the Kentucky program with Pope's leadership. He embraces the challenge of starting the season with a game of such magnitude, knowing that Rupp Arena will be throbbing with the energy of a fans that lives and breathes basketball. Last season's victory in a played, high-level game serves as a reminder of the potential of this cast, which now combines the experience of players transferred with Pope's strategic vision. And speaking of football, among the most interesting stories is the rise of cornerback DJ Waller Jr., a key piece in the defensive project led by Coach Mark Stoops. After a period of adaptation full of challenges, Waller seems to have found his place on the starting lineup, carrying the promise of being one of the team's big names in 2025. Waller's arrival at Kentucky came as a response to the urgent need to reinforce the secondary after his passage at Michigan. However, his transition was not immediate or exempt from difficulty. Injuries and the lack of time to completely assimilate the defensive system made its first season marked by ups and downs. He started as CB3, took over the title in the midst of adversity, and ended up losing the last games of the season because of a new injury. Despite this, the Youngstown native showed flashes of talent that aroused optimism between the fans and the coaching staff. Now, with a full year under the belt and a remarkable maturity both on and off the pitch, DJ Waller Jr. emerges as one of the central figures in rebuilding the defense of the Wildcats. Defensive coordinator Brad White recently pointed out that the player's qualitative jump is directly linked to his maturity. This evolution is not limited to the technical skills demonstrated in training or games, but also covers a significant behavioral change. It's like the Olympic ring. Everything is interconnected, White explained. When you mature in all areas of your life, this automatically reflects in the field. This transformation is particularly relevant because it places Waller in a position to consolidate its ownership and potentially become one of the best cornerbacks of the SEC Conference. With Hardaway JQ already established as one of the leaders of the secondary, the duo has everything to form one of the most reliable partnerships of the league. In addition, Waller represents a clear example of the recruitment philosophy adopted by Stoops, bringing high development players and shaping them to achieve the most of their abilities. The construction of a solid defense has always been the coach's trademark, and Waller's evolution is just another chapter of this story. In recent years, the program has consistently produced draft choices in key positions, something that should be repeated if cornerback has the expected performance by 2025. For fans, there are plenty of reasons for enthusiasm. The combination of experienced veterans, young talents on the rise in general. More than ever, Kentucky football seems to be aligned with its long-term goals, building a team that can compete at a high level while developing players for the next level. If DJ Waller Jr. really takes off in his second full season, he will be able to join the gallery of the big names revealed by Stoops in Lexington. And with the renewed energy that hangs over the program, it would be no surprise to see Kentucky take another step in this championship. What everyone expects. Leave your opinion.